पीत चुनरिया ओढ़ के आयल, पीत चुनरिया ओढ़ के आयल, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार। हुलसी हुलस जिया कर लखिलो लेवा, हुलसी हुलस जिया कर लखिलो लेवा, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार। बगिया के कोरा में हाँ चमकेला बेला, झूमे चमेली के डार रे, हाँ झूमे चमेली के डार रे, हो अखियाँ के मोतिया लुटावे राती रनिया, अखियाँ के मोतिया लुटावे राती रनिया, चंदा के चमके दुआर रे, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार, आयल फगुनी बयार रे, आयल बसंती बयार।
So your first song you played for us today is Peet Chunariya. Oh my God, this is like the song that actually introduced me to you, Nimisha. And it's the first song that's on this episode. Can you tell people a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. See, the songs that I'm singing, these are very close to myself because I grew up listening to them, and at some point I wasn't listening to them at all. And then I don't know, while I was traveling and I was meeting other people, there was moments when we were asked to like sing the songs and what's the folk song from Bihar, and I started learning guitar. So these songs just naturally came from me, the songs that I had learned from my mom. The song is welcoming the very onset of what Bayar, Ail, Purvi Bayar, Basanti Bayar. This is the song that talks about like the beauty of nature and how beautifully different kind of flowers flowering in the corner of a garden. The first stanza talks about that. And basically then it leads to the Shringar Ras, generally what the folk songs are.
Yeah.
So it talks about like a girl looking forward to meeting her beloved or something. And with Peet Chunariya, I would like to add to this that Peet represents yellow, and luckily I'm also wearing yellow today. So basically what happens that during that time in Bihar, I guess, we have this beautiful amaltas ka peड़ that just flowers into, like becomes completely yellow, covered with these yellow like chandeliers. And then you have mustard fields and everything is yellow. Because of that, the song has this Peet Chunariya, which is like a yellow flower. The season has come with this yellow chunari, which actually is in the song.
Oh my God, that sounds really nice. And by the way, the song is beautiful. And this is the song actually, I remember you sending it to me and then I heard it and now I'm like, this is so not what I thought. And again, I think this is what's so interesting is that like you're singing in Bhojpuri, right? And you're originally from Muzaffarpur in Bihar, correct?
Yes.
And the thing that I found super interesting was that like when you usually hear Bhojpuri music, it doesn't, the pop culture version of it doesn't sound like this. And so when I first heard your music, I'm like, this is such a different rendition and representation of, something that I had never heard before. And there is something different about it, which is why like I'm fascinated by the way in which you're putting Bhojpuri music out there. So one of the things that I realized, and this is a personal thing because I realized I didn't really know much about Bhojpuri in general. And one of the things that I found super interesting is that there is a very large number of people that speak Bhojpuri. About 50 million people speak Bhojpuri. The fact that like it also isn't just something that's in Bihar, that like there is like Bhojpuri, like people who are speaking Bhojpuri in Trinidad and Tobago and other parts of like South America. And I was like, I had no idea that there was such a diaspora of people who speak Bhojpuri. And I think that was also super fascinating for me because I like had no clue.
Yeah.
And there is like a whole genre of music called chutney music, which is like Bhojpuri and like calypso and soca. And I'm like, I'm learning so many new things. I know that you had done like a South America tour. Was it quite like surprising when you met people who could speak Bhojpuri from there as well?
I guess because I also, like you, had no idea that there are Bhojpuri speakers and people who actually really fascinated and still connected with the culture.
Yeah.
So for when we were sent there, it was like a eye opener. It blew my mind. I could say that
Yeah.
because I could say people over there were still speaking. They were trying to speak in English, speak in Bhojpuri, and they had like a mix of they call it Creole, like
Yeah.
where they have French and Dutch and everything mixed together,
Yeah.
and they were trying to converse with us in English because we could not in Dutch or French. So we have like they're trying to put in some Bhojpuri words in it, which a typical Bihari would use.
Oh my
So I was like,
God.
what? Like, is this really serious? Like these people are, and then of course we were exposed to the history, like
Yeah.
how and when and what happened. So yeah, there are like a lot of people speaking Bhojpuri, and they're still like wanting to come back and they want to explore Bihar and the culture. There are
Yeah.
many friends, they want to get back to Bihar because their forefathers went there and they have
Yeah.
never visited India, for example. So
Yeah.
when they come to India, they want to go to Bihar and see like where their forefathers came from. So I have like a couple of people I knew who came back to like
Yeah.
getting back to their roots and just to know where once their forefathers were, just for some emotional satisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, this is also incredible. And for anyone that doesn't know, it is like during sort of British colonialism that like there were people that were taken from
For
Bihar
yeah,
to these
sugar.
different, to places in the Caribbean and so on and South America. And so that's why there is a community from Bihar that are all in all these places, or like at least originally from Bihar.
Absolutely. And they are really, I was surprised that they really want to hold on to their cultures. They're
Yeah.
not the one who wants to give it away. And that's the beauty I found with them. I was like, and I'll tell you, May, that up until then I was just a performer before
Mm.
that. And I was in college when I went there. But after that tour, something shifted in me, which was like, okay, we were not just the performer there, we
Yeah.
were representatives of a culture. And that made a shift somehow. I mean, I guess in my head, I don't know about my other team members, but it definitely did something to me. And that also made me grow like as a person, as an
Mm.
artist. I saw museums where they were showcasing dresses, contracts, how when they came from the ship, the rare pictures and
Yeah.
pictures when they came on the shores, and so how women used to dress then. So I saw like these big, nathia and like
Yeah.
jewelries and the way they will drape the sari. I never found that in Bihar, living in Bihar. I saw that in Trinidad and different places, Guyana, and they have preserved it in a museum, like different artifacts. Like
That's amazing. And I'm sure, I mean, that's what's also so interesting. You went there having no idea, and it's absolute shock. You're like, "Oh my god, Bihar is also here."
And the people were like this before. Like this was
Yeah.
also one of the shockers that I got. Like it was interesting.
Yeah. So, and I think one of the things is that, talking about your relationship with music, your mom is a folk singer as well,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yes.
she's quite well known. And I think you grew up singing, right?
Yeah.
You were part of her troupe. You were singing since the age of like what, 3?
Yes.
And so what was that like? I mean, your music education pretty much started very
I
young.
don't know. Earlier, it was very boring, I would say.
What?
When I started, it was boring because it was like sa re ga ma pa da. It was like every time you have to start with the same thing. And my guru was very strict. So he would like, how in the classical training
Yeah.
is, it's quite boring in the beginning, I would say. So it was not so exciting. But the
Yeah.
exciting was when we did folk music. Yes.
Yeah.
I used to get excited when, other girls would come and we would I would more excited to play with them. And then
Yeah.
I was always scolded for like, oh, you're not doing the practice. You're just time passing with the girls. And you are also, taking them away from their practice and you need to control them and you're just playing with them.
Yeah.
But that was like my source of happiness. Like, okay, now I have to, the music, the folk music, these music that I'm singing right now.
Yeah.
These are singing that would give me a break from this classical training.
Got it.
And I would like enjoy that.
So what was it about the folk songs that you love so much? Because you clearly that's the thing that excites you.
When I started playing guitar, um, these songs came naturally to me. The songs that I picked up. And also, I was, for right or wrong, or the opportunity that we got while I was a kid and I was singing with mom, and there were many other, students, those who were there. We all got the opportunity to go around and move around, go to different kind of youth festivals. And
Yeah.
because my mom was very excited and she was very enthusiastic about it, so by default we would come along, because I was a good singer as
Yeah.
a from the very beginning. Maybe I didn't have the maturity, but I still was in sur, so I
Yeah.
could do all that. So I was a part of the team always, and it just kind of kept happening and became a part of my life without me knowing.
Yeah.
And then when we went to South American tour, then it consolidated everything for me. Like, okay, like now I'm no more just singing folk music in Calcutta or,
Yeah.
Himachal Pradesh or somewhere. This now we are singing in, as a diplomats, we are sent from our country to sing for them. And these people are crying and listening to us. So it just, it was a different
Yeah.
thing. And I didn't know that it will have an impact on the audience, those who were listening
Yeah.
them, but it also had an impact on me. So that by default, when someone is asking me to sing, I would sing Bihar music because that's where I come from and that's what I
Yeah.
know. That came out naturally to me.
Yeah.
So I guess that stayed with me.
Besides yourself, and you're talking about, performing with your mom, even your sister sings as well. And
Yeah, because my mom wanted everyone to sing. In fact, my mom was inclined on having everybody to get trained, and my brother, my sister, they all got trained
yeah.
as students also. And they all continue to do say we all, when we come together, that's a common thing that we do. We come together and we sing folk songs of Bihar. And
Oh
then my
my
mom
gosh.
gets like, wow. She gets so delighted to see her, like, daughters and sons singing together. I'm like, I could see the satisfaction on her face, and it's really nice to see it.
That's so beautiful. So, what's the second song you're gonna perform for us today?
I think Barse Lagal.
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about the song?
This song is long forgotten. Nobody knows this song. I have to dig into my like memory to bring
Yeah.
all the lyrics back. In fact, I couldn't even find the diary where on this like really born out paper, I knew that there was a song written there. And
Yeah.
somehow I always liked the lyrics of the song, because it had very fascinating way of expression, like the way the words were, pen down.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I really like that song, but I haven't performed, I haven't done anything about this song for
Yeah.
years. And then when few years back, when I was sitting with my producer, I was like, let me, and I literally gone back in my memory. Took me 3 days to retrieve the song from my memory.
Really?
Yes.
So what does
And
it actually mean?
um it's a song that is, it's a story that really is in the song, is centered around monsoon,
Okay.
Barse Lagal Badra. And if I have to go more detail into the
Yeah.
song, then I would say that it is talking about a girl. She's waiting for her beloved, and how she is, first paragraph describes like how she is just so happy in love, and she goes into different kinds of digmig bhail kachar khet mein, like it's a village setting,
Yeah.
and she goes into the corner, she hides in the corner with a partner. And a lot of metaphors are used here,
Yeah.
like more and all that. And then it brings back to a point in the second paragraph, which is completely contrast to the first one, which was happy. And now, like, she suddenly, the lover has gone, and she has been cursed, and now she's waiting and wailing for a lover to come. So
Yeah.
basically, it's a song describing a love that is lost.
So the next song is Barse Lagal.
पुरवैया पुरवैया लहरा के भागल, बरसे लागल। पुरवैया लहरा के भागल, बरसे लागल। रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। बदरा हो पुरवैया लहरा के भागल, बरसे लागल। रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। बदरा हो गुमसुम भैल बयार घेर के, बदलस चारों कोना। दिगमिग भैल कछार खेत में, बरसे लागल सोना रे सोना, बरसे लागल सोना। दिगमिग भैल गुमसुम भैल बयार घेर के, बदलस चारों कोना। दिगमिग भैल कछार खेत में, बरसे लागल सोना रे सोना, बरसे लागल सोना। चहके लागल रीत पिया संग, ओढ़े चनर चुनरिया। दमके लागल गाँव छमा छम, नाचे नगर नगरिया, नाचे नगर नगरिया। झुरमुट में चुपके सवर के, नाचे शाम सवरिया। थिरके लागल मोर गुजरिया, गावे लागल कजरा रे बदरा, बरसे लागल। रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। भदरा हो रिम झिम झिम, रिम झिम झिम, बरसे लागल। 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 Thank you.
So another thing that I think is super fascinating is that besides having, now, you're pursuing music, but there was a time when you were working for a TV channel and you were, doing like a relatively like corporate-ish kind of job. One of the things that I've sort of read was that when you had sort of come here and you were coming to a city like Bombay and working in like this really corporate world, one of the things that you've said is that you realized that people had lost like their connection to their roots,
Yeah.
right? And I'm kind of curious like what that meant.
I mean, the first exposure of that lost, I felt in Delhi itself.
Yeah?
When I was in Delhi and I had to celebrate my first Diwali in Delhi, and I was like, people don't know what is Gharonda. I'm like, what? And I would like, Gharonda? I mean, you guys don't make Gharonda in Diwali? No. What is Gharonda? And that was the first time I got to know, like, city, they just put their like these chains of like small little twinkle bulbs, and that's it. That's Diwali for them.
You have to explain it to the South Indian. What is that?
So basically, in Bihar, what we have is we create a small earthen, like with mitti and
Mhm.
whatever you have. Like if you can cement it also. Now in my house, we have a cemented garanda
Okay.
where forever you put that Ganesh and Lakshmi ji, and we decorate it as you want. It can be very modest too. We as kids, we used to make staircases, like small little things, and how
Yeah.
you have this. Small little earthen pots like it,
Mhm.
and my these are all rituals where people, which people do there till now. We put it with a lot of puffed rice and
Yeah.
different candy, sugar, and different these kind of things which are used, and we pray. And this is like, giving prosperity to your house and
Got it.
Lakshmi, and
Yeah.
for getting that favors from them. And so that's how we celebrate Diwali. And when I came to Delhi, I could not find any of it. So that was my first time, and I
Oh.
felt like, oh my God, people are just like, they don't do anything. They just the firecrackers, these electric bulbs. And where there, when I grew up, we didn't use electric bulbs. We had like proper diya with
Yeah.
kerosene oil, not the normal oil.
Fair
Not the
enough.
ghee ke diye nahi
Yeah,
jalate,
yeah.
but it still was a kind of a ritual. We used to prepare for few weeks before
Yeah.
the coming of Diwali, and lot of, so that these things were missing out. I missed out in Delhi, and I felt like city is a very different place.
Yeah. I can imagine. And so you also have and this is fascinating for me is that there was a point in time where you had a couple of friends from Europe that wanted to come down and perform, and you did a music festival in your hometown.
Oh yeah, that was amazing, and it is full of stories. So my friends, they were coming to India. They say we're coming, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Let me see what I can do. And my mom heard the story, like, oh, they are coming. Okay, so should I put something together? Should I help you out? Or because she
Wow.
ran this organization for a very long time,
Yeah.
so she knows a lot of people. I said, yeah, I would love to, but
Mm.
it requires a lot of money to bring them here. So like, if you want to bring them, and if you
Mm.
want to start off something in this, because I know you're really fascinated to bring these musicians and people and
Yeah.
art to this to our place, Bihar. Actually,
Yeah.
I was always very eager to bring a lot of musicians and different kinds of arts that
Yeah.
exist outside Bihar to Bihar, because I knew that there's like we need to bring it there. So
Absolutely.
I started, I remember 2010, I started working on that part.
Mm.
2010 was a long time. And then finally I got a chance to do that in 2016.
And is that recalling roots?
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about
So I put up a festival. We said, okay, recalling roots. Like, I am recalling my roots.
Yeah.
So I'm going back to my roots, and I'm getting to these amazing musicians to come and perform. And we wanted to not keep it ticketed or anything, because people generally, I don't know if they wanted to come and really look and
Yeah.
see the music. I wanted to keep it in a public park, which is open to people to come, and
That's
not in an
so
auditorium,
good.
which is packed and very kind of bound with a lot of
Yeah.
boundaries. So this is how it started. And but that day when it started, there was a whole fight between these two student groups, AVBP and this, I
Oh
don't know,
my
some issue, and
gosh.
the special forces came
Are
to
you serious?
rescue and you know what, my sound guy is inside the park, and his trailer is outside the gate, and the gate of the park is locked, because that's the center of the city almost. So
Oh.
this clash happened right in front of them, right in front of that gate. So my mom is inside the gate, half the people are inside the gate, and half the people are outside the gate. None of them are asked to, the gate is not opening.
Oh
So
my
it was
gosh.
like, at some point we thought that we won't be able to do the festival. like, today is not possible. It's already like second half, and
Damn.
the time is going,
Yeah.
and the stage is not set, the sound is not set, it's outside. How are we going to? And the special forces have come to, just control the clash.
Jeez.
People, like, it's like pelting, everything, stone pelting was happening with this. They came with this shield,
Yeah.
and this secondary newspaper was full of this big picture of, pelters and
Yeah.
forces. It was like really a miracle that at 7 or something we started late, but it was not that late, but still we were able to do that, and it was beautiful.
I mean, if there's anything that's going to go, that's the thing, when you're doing an event, there's so much that has to come together to make it happen.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
mean, it was also the circumstances that just, blew our mind. Nobody was expected that the clash would happen the same day.
and so are you going to be doing more stuff? Are you working on anything new at the moment?
I'm doing multiple stuff. So I
Yeah.
have this chakra healing project, which is completely taken me, swayed me in that direction, and I love to perform it for people now.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm collaborating constantly with people, and the third song that I'll be singing, Duniya, is also something which I made, which I wrote to just explore my idea of Bhojpuri, not just like picking up the traditional ones, but now how do I see myself as a Bhojpuri speaker or coming from that culture? How would I make a song in present time?
Yeah.
So that's something which I'll continue doing. I hope people like my music and they never make me to stop singing that. I will never, because my family and we all will come together and sing them.
So last song that you're gonna play for us today is Duniya. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it just came out from me when I was jamming with my harmonica player, and I was like, blah, 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 blah. I was just, something came out. And I sense that there's a lot of, we say this genre is nirgun, because I made my friend listen to it. It's like, okay, you made a nirgun. I said, yeah, I guess. What is a nirgun? Like,
Yeah.
nirgun is something that will talk about the cycle of life, and
Yeah.
you are born and you are going to die, nothing you're going to take, in a sense of that.
Yeah.
So basically, nirguns are a genre which will bring you that, like how Kabir would say.
Yeah.
He said Kabir, like, it sounds like one of the Kabir songs. So this is the nirguns would be a one that gives you the exposure about the life and the cycle of life, as I said. And so Duniya talks about like we have like such a short span to live
Yeah.
on this planet Earth, and we are just running, and we are, like I was telling you backstage, that we such have like the beauty of life we are not able to enjoy. And now many people understand this, but we are not able to get out of it. Myself, like, even if I understand and write a song about it, I'm still somewhere, in the same dunya
Yeah.
and doing the same thing. It's like where we want to get out of it, and every one of us want to get out of it.
Yeah.
And the kind of what you say, the Baimaniya, I have used a word called Baimaniya in this song, which is about, like, we are not truthful, like, towards our own self and
Yeah.
towards life. Basically, it's not what exactly the life is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's what the essence of the song is.
Okay. So the last third song for today is Duniya.
Yes. दिन की दुनिया ये दुनिया रे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग 4 दिन की दुनिया ये दुनिया रे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग मोगरे के टोकरे में घोल के तू ला रे बेईमनिया तू कैले हमरे संग अरे मोगरे के टोकरे में घोल के तू ला रे बेईमनिया तू कैले हमरे संग अरे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग अरे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे रे मछरिया बिरहनिया तड़पेला ओकरे संग अरे छोकरे के मोटरी में माछ रे मछरिया बिरहनिया तड़पेला ओकरे संग हाँ चल बजावे आनंद बधैया जैसे भवरा कलियन के संग चल बजावे आनंद बधैया जैसे भवरा कलियन के संग अरे 4 दिन की दुनिया ये दुनिया ये दुनिया 4 दिन की दुनिया ये दुनिया ये दुनिया 4 दिन की दुनिया ये दुनिया ये दुनिया अरे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग अरे 4 दिन की दुनिया ये दुनिया ये दुनिया अरे लिख दे रे कहानियां हमरे संग अरे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग अरे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग अरे चल दे रे पलटनिया हमरे संग थैंक यू
Please like, share, subscribe. Love me, please.